Lucid For Life.
Hi, Lucid Dreamers! Welcome to Lucid For Life podcast. I'm David, and we have our host, Mike Kuhn. How you doing, Mike?
Great.
Yeah.
That's the best. I don't even know what to say now.
Oh my god, I sound like introducing a stripper or something. And next up, it's Lucid. She's gonna give you. All right, well, we won't go in that direction this time.
Yeah, let's not freak
But
everybody
Mike-
out too much.
Mike, what's going on, dude? I'm kind of excited for this one.
Yeah, not a whole lot for me, but I hear you got something going on next
Oh god,
week.
tying the knot, dude.
Yeah,
I'm kind of scared. To be honest with you.
don't be
It's
scared.
like, I love this woman. I plan on being with her the rest of my life. But holy shit, I've heard so much bad stuff when it comes to getting married. I work with a bunch of carpenters. The divorce rate for carpenters is pretty high, so.
Yeah, but you're pretty much married now, so it's like nothing's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
change.
Yeah, nothing's going to change except for the lack of sex. So.
That's-
That's whatever. That's whatever. But,
well,
Yeah,
anyway, congratulations.
thank you,
Happy
Mike.
for you. I wish I could be there, man.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. I've been begging you,
I know it.
but nothing.
Just ain't gonna happen.
You only live like fucking 20 hours away. No big deal.
Not that far, but yeah.
No, I know. But anyway, what are we talking about today, dude?
We're gonna talk about dry spells.
hmm These are the kind of dry spells that every lucid dreamer hates, fears, and tries to rebound from. We got a little bit of everything for you. Mike made a really nice list for us today. I did a little research online. I know what I do for dry spells, but everybody's different. So we're going to try and hit each key point, and hopefully if somebody is on a dry spell and you clicked on it, we can help you today. But I tell you, I said this before, that honestly just doing podcasts and getting myself involved in the community of lucid dreaming helps me break from a dry spell. I can almost guarantee it ramps up my confidence too, is just doing this podcast, because I know tonight I'm gonna have a lucid dream. If not tonight, tomorrow. So it really ramps it up. It makes me excited. It gets me motivated and thinking about what the heck am I gonna do while I'm lucid. Because I'm happy to say I did have a lucid dream, the longest one I've ever had. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, you're gonna have to share that at the end, because
Yeah.
we all want to hear that, sure.
Yeah, it's not too eventful, but it's still amazing to me.
Well, sweet. We're gonna talk about. I figure we could talk about the causes of dry spells, so that
What the hell causes a dry spell?
maybe you can avoid that, and then we'll get into how to remedy those causes. And really, everybody's going to be different, but these are going to be the things that we found to be effective and to be the most generalized. But you mentioned motivation. That's
Yes.
first on my list.
Oh.
There's a lack
Yeah.
of motivation.
It's hard to stay motivated. I mean, your brain is constantly working against you, no matter what. Inside of a dream, outside of a dream, no matter what you want to do, unless it's eating, sleeping, or trying to procreate, as we hit on the last topic, there's so many things that interrupt your train of thought. So if you're focusing on doing your reality checks and staying attentive to awareness and what's around you, it's so much harder. We talked about that before. It's so hard. I mean, you want to stay focused on everything around you. I mean, just driving from here to work, I lose concentration and I think, wow, I just got so complacent from here to work. I don't remember the last 3 stoplights. I don't, and it's kind of scary. So you do all this stuff, you start to get unmotivated because it's the lack of thought. You can't. It's hard to stay motivated into something that's so, and I don't want to put a stigma on it, Mike. We try and stay away from that, but it is hard. It makes it tough. Constantly keeping up with your reality checks and all that stuff. It just kind of brings that statistic peak way down when you're doing it over day in, day out.
I mean, there's work to it. I guess some people are more lucky than others, and it just comes naturally to them. But the rest of us have to work.
Yes. Some of us a lot more than others.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of, like I said, finding what works for you. But like for the motivation, like a way to fix that is like what you said is plugging in with other lucid dreamers and being able to talk about it. For us,
getting involved.
Doing the podcast is one way.
Mm-hmm.
Get on the forums. Just talk with other people if you don't know anybody personally. So that right there is like a huge motivator. And
absolutely,
even going back and reading your old dream journal entries.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a huge one for me too. Is when you go back, because there's a lot of dreams that you just read the first few keywords and it brings it all back, and it's like you relive that memory in that moment. The first few words, you're like, oh yeah, I remember skateboarding up and down the sides of those walls, and it was so fun, so glorious. It gets you excited, So yeah, it's a really good idea to go back and read what you have already done, what you've already experienced.
Right, and I'm usually kind of like, wow, I actually had that dream? That was that badass,
Right.
So it reminds you that you can do it,
You can do it. Yeah, man, the motivation for me, when I start to lose motivation, the hardest part for me is like really getting back on that horse. Because another thing for me for motivation is if I've lost motivation, I don't want to force myself to get back into it, because this is, I don't want to say a hobby, because I am lucid for life. I'll always be practicing, even if I've lost all motivation to do it. So when I say I'm going to take a few weeks off, it means I'm not going to be so concentrated or motivated on doing my reality checks and stuff, but I still think about it constantly. I still am working towards becoming lucid that night, but I'm not so inapt to say, okay, I got to get in 10 reality checks and I want to take 5 times out during the day to be aware of my surroundings, Instead of doing that, I just say, all right, I'm shutting it off for, a couple weeks. I'm so sick of doing it. So that's how I kind of get my motivation back, is don't force myself to do it. Take a little time off. Still try and get lucid, obviously. Just don't ramp it up and just shove it down my throat, Just take a little time away and relax, and then come back with a positive attitude and hit it hard again.
Right, I feel like sometimes when I'm in a dry spell, I'll start like trying way too hard, and I'll kind of burn myself out on it, and then it'll just add to the frustration, and it doesn't help anything. So yeah, sometimes it is best just to take off a week or two and just maybe focus on recall and just forget about wake back to bed, just get your sleep and all that stuff. So
yeah, that's one thing that I've been lacking on lately. Is my wake back to beds. And they are crucial to having lucid dreams for a lot of us, me especially. But I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, there's a few times where I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should do a wake back to bed. And if I do get up and then nothing happens, I'm less reluctant to do it the next night. So that's another motivation killer, is when you do something to achieve lucidity and then it doesn't work out the way you want it to.
right.
So then you're less likely, less motivated to do it the next time. But guys, you just got to keep on keeping on. If you get in a routine, like Mike is usually in a great routine of getting up at least every other night, or I don't mean to speak for you, Mike, but you do it a lot more than I do, is these wake back to beds. Me, when I do a wake back to bed, I text you about it. I'm like, yeah, I did it. Like, pat me on the back, brother. But lately I have been working 70 hours a week, so wake back to beds are kind of out of the question for me right now. But now that I'm dropped back down to 40, wake back to beds are ready. They are.
Yeah, and I generally, during the week, my wake back to beds are pretty short. I might just get up and go to the bathroom and just kind of, just mentally prepare myself to go back to sleep, just within 5 minutes or whatever. That's not that effective, but I think I've mentioned before, like, probably the target wake back to bed is 45 minutes
45
to
minutes,
60
yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, see,
And
that's
why I usually
for me, that
reserve
would be
those.
just too tough for me to go
Well,
back to bed.
That's what I'm
If
saying.
I'm up for that long, go ahead, please.
Well, I was just going to say I usually reserve those for the weekend, so that way I know I'm going to
Yes.
sleep in or whatever.
Right. And hopefully the kids sleep in.
Yeah, and that's well, before that, when you mentioned like the repeated failure, that'll fuck with you like more than anything. It's like
That's what makes a dry spell the
I
hardest.
know. That's why you just gotta take a break when that happens.
Yes.
But we were talking about wake back to bed. That kind of brings us to the next cause. Not enough sleep. So
Motherfuckers gotta get your sleep in.
yeah, for me, I require 8 to 10 hours a night.
Yes.
And
Yes. Everybody's different on this, but
If I
I
don't-
am the same way.
if I don't get that during the week, I'll acquire what's called a sleep deficit, and that's why sleeping in on the weekend is so crucial because I kind of pay off that sleep debt. And of course, obviously, sleeping in is gonna give you more dream time, so
Yes.
that kind of gives me a boost.
I want to make this clear, though. I've listened to a lot of sleep studies from the University of Berkeley. They have podcasts. And it is nice to sleep in, but I want everybody to know, even you, Mike, that if you don't get what your body requires, which obviously to you is 8 to 10 hours of sleep, say you only get 6, you'll never get those 2 hours back, even if you sleep in on the weekend. What you've done to your body and actually took from is done its damage and can't be repaired. So if you let a car overheat for that few minutes and then you put coolant in when you get home, that's not going to make it fixed. What the damage that you've already caused to that car, and I'm no mechanic, so don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to at least make a simile here. But you've already done the damage to your body, so you're not actually going to be able to sleep in and acquire what you've already done to your body. So sleep isn't just crucial for lucid dreaming. Sleep is crucial for the body's health. So if you're missing out on some of your sleep, I don't mean to put you down, the doctors who are going to school and working 70, 80 hours a week and only getting 3 hours of sleep at night. I mean, if that's all you require, so be it. Einstein, he was that way. But for the people that need more to run, and you know you need more, don't fool yourself. You're hurting your own body.
Well, that reminds me, I watched an interesting thing on ASAP Science. I don't know how...
I love those guys.
Yeah, I don't know how correct they are and everything, but they mentioned not getting enough sleep, and a lot of people, when they do it consistently, they'll start to notice the effects less. It's not like they're getting used to it. It's just they're not noticing the effects of it as much. So that's why some people are like, yeah, I only need 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Well, that's probably not true. That just means you're not really feeling it during the day.
They've deadened their senses,
yeah.
or they've gotten used to it enough to where they don't. I understand.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting way to look at it. But
there's this guy at work. He only gets 3 hours of sleep, and he runs great, and he doesn't. Whew. And we bust our ass at work. All we do is lift.
What kind of drugs is he on?
Actually, funny that you ask. Uppers, lots and lots of uppers.
Man, he's gonna have a
4
heart attack.
monsters a day, and he's an old man. He's 50-something years old, and I'm like, dude. And I tell him about these sleep studies I listen to and read about, and he's like, I like work. And I'm like, dude, get a life. But yeah,
it's his choice, I guess.
I don't mean to get too off track here, but yeah, if you need to get your sleep in, the more sleep you get, the more likely you're going to have lucid dreams, the more motivation you're going to have to actually do your wake back to beds and do what you need to do during the day.
Right. Yep, so to remedy that, fucking sleep, man.
Mm-hmm. Take a
That's
fucking nap, too. Naps work wonders.
Yeah, I try really hard to get my at least 8 hours during the week. My work schedule lately I've been going in an hour early, but yeah, it's that sleeping in like Saturday morning I'll sleep in, and I have a high chance of getting lucid then, and then usually Saturday nights I'll do a full hour awake back to bed, and maybe use some glantamine or something. But
Hell yeah.
that's
Snort that shit.
yeah, right. But so that's why most of my lucids are on the weekend. But
right. I tell you what, man. I was reading on your notes here, the lack of discipline. I think a lot of this, I can relate to a lot of this. I don't, when it comes to discipline, I am very disciplined in certain ways, like going to the gym every other day, being to work on time, the key things during my waking life that are known as a good husband or a good coworker should be. I'm very adamant. When it comes to this discipline here about lucid dreaming, I let myself slack here and there. And I guess I'm just so afraid that I'm going to burn myself out, so I let myself slack. But then I start telling myself, well, it's okay. It's been 2 weeks. No big deal. You don't need to hit it that hard. Or, oh yeah, you've had that book sitting on the shelf. It's there for a good reason. But I know, and I've done quite a bit of research. I do get burnt out on books because you start reading a lot of the same thing over and over again. But it's hard to stay disciplined when it comes to lucid dreaming without having our first key point, and that's motivation.
right.
But if you can keep yourself disciplined at least on one key point, like just start with something small, like 3 reality checks every day. Even if you're burnt out and you want to take your 2 weeks off, stay disciplined at least in one focus to where you're going to do 3 reality checks a day. And then nighttime comes and you're like, oh, I only did 1. All right, well, I'll make up for those 2 by doing 10 minutes of like meditation or something like that. So make it your choice, make it your decision to choose something small that you're going to stay disciplined on. Like I do. I have to, it's at least 3 a day for me, which is very minimum. So that way I don't feel like I'm forcing it,
Yeah. Really, like all these causes that I have down are tied in together. So, I mean, one thing can cause the other and affect the other thing, but whatever. But yeah, I see what you're saying there. For me, like, the thing I need to stay disciplined on is my daytime practices, and is just doing like some daytime awareness. We talked about ADA or all day awareness. I kind of feel like that's not a good term for it, I guess.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's impossible to be
Yes.
aware every moment of every day. Maybe some of the Buddhist monks can do that, but forget it.
Well, you wouldn't be able to do. It's clear that when people say that they're multitaskers, it's actually very rare to find someone who can actually multitask.
Yeah,
multitasking is not something the human brain is actually capable of doing. And some of you might disagree with me, but I have read some studies on this. It's multitasking when it comes to, I'm a drummer. I can do a lot of different things, but that's practice multitasking on key beats and doing repetition over and over and over and over and over again. So if you practice this over and over and over again, yes, you will be able to get it down. You will be able to do it. But if you do practice all-day awareness, which we've talked about before, sporadic awareness is going to be a lot better. Doing it here and there and popping it up when you can remember to, and seeing how long you can hold it onto it for. If you do all-day awareness, you're going to get discouraged. You're going to miss out on a lot. There's a lot more going on in the waking world, even when it's walking down a road. Practice this. Try this. Go from point A to point B and say, I want to practice awareness from once I get out of this truck till I get into the break room, or from the time I get out of my car until I'm done putting the groceries away. Try that, because it's amazing how many different things your mind gets off track. Now, congratulations if you catch yourself and bring yourself back to awareness. But sporadic awareness is a lot more plausible.
Right.
And it's a lot safer, too. I mean, yeah, all day awareness is going to bring you more aware to your surroundings, but you're not going to see that thing that you just tripped over, and then you lose your awareness. But, I mean, all day awareness, I mean, that's kind of out the window. We'll call it sporadic awareness on this podcast.
Yeah, or I like to call it daytime awareness, but
That's cool.
It's the same thing. Yeah, man. But for me, like, that's like my basic, most important thing I need to do is try to remember at least maybe 5-6 times a day just to stop, think about where I am, just notice my environment. That's all I'm doing. So it doesn't have to be this super concentrating whatever bullshit.
Oh.
Right.
Well, I think what I'll do that we can do to help each other, just because we're obviously talking about this now, is because back in the day, probably last year or something, maybe less than that, we would text each other reality check or 5 minutes out for awareness, you know. And when we read that text, I'm going to start doing that for you. I'll do it a couple times through the day, and I'd appreciate it if you did the same for me. If I do it to you twice and you do it to me twice, that'll be 4 times each for 5 minutes or as long as we can go throughout the day, and that'll be that.
Right.
And that'll really help us.
Yeah, and that won't be too much. It won't be like every hour. I'm like, fuck, leave me alone.
God damn it!
I'll do it later.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, or hell, just even if you think about it and you don't have time to actually do it, just do a real quick reality check. It's basically the same thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, it might, you know, it's not as involved and it's probably not as effective, but at least you're remembering
but
to
it's
do
still
something.
working towards, yes.
Yeah.
It's still helping stay disciplined.
Yeah, so basically, just get back to the basic practices.
Yes.
That will help you through your dry spell.
Yes, absolutely. Dry spells suck, man. They suck so bad.
Yeah, and, you know...
Nobody likes a dry spell. You know what pisses me off is, like, Paigey Emps on Dream Views. She's like, I'm going through dry spell. It's been 3 days without a lucid dream. It's like, I hate you! You know what I mean? Like, I think I joined Dream Views long before she did, and I've been keeping up on her every once in a while. And
is she still on there?
I haven't checked recently,
I haven't
but
seen much
when I was on there, like, last month, she was still on there. A couple months ago, she was still on there. But she's always so busy with school and stuff. But, dude, it's just amazing to me because she's one of those naturals that started, and it took her, like, a week to get her first one, and then it's just been uphill ever since then. And then she's like, oh, I'm having a dry spell. Like, oh, Paigey, what's wrong? You know, it's been 3 days. It's like, ooh, it's been, like, 3 weeks for me. Like, what is... No complaining from you.
And it's probably because she hasn't slept in those 3 days.
Right, because she's going to school so much. Yeah. It's awesome, though.
Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah, another thing I wanted to bring up was, as far as getting back to basics, was to focus on recall.
Total recall.
Because, I mean, it's part of the lack of motivation and not getting enough sleep. Your recall is going to suck.
Yes.
But
I'm guilty
recall
here.
is so important because I know that I've probably forgotten more lucid dreams than I've actually put into my dream journal. And it bothers me really bad.
Yes.
And maybe they weren't high-level lucids, but I still feel like I missed out because if you don't remember it, it didn't happen. And so I wake up with a sense of, I just had a lucid dream. I can't remember it. Shit.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
so
I
that's
love
good
it
to
when
have
you're
a strong
sitting
recall.
Yeah. And that's, honestly, Mike, hands down, that's my problem I'm having right now, is that I'm back into the routine of, oh, I'll remember it. You know? I mean, I've been so good with rolling over, grabbing the phone, and recording it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then and it's so important to get into that routine no matter what. Because once you get into that habit, you start every time you wake up, your body's already prone to reaching for that phone, or your body's already prone to laying there and thinking, okay, what do I have to remember to put into my phone? You get into a mental habit.
Right.
You know, it's just something I'm lacking on right now, and it does bother me. I need to be a little bit more disciplined when it comes to that.
Speaking of recall, I have to brag on myself because I almost set my record again. I recalled 10 dreams last night.
That's amazing, dude.
And it was more than just fragments.
Did the other two come to you after you text me? Yeah.
No, because
you
I
said
counted wrong.
8 or 9.
I was
Oh, did you?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I
That's cool,
actually
though.
plugged them in my dream journal because I had some mild lucid moments. So I just wanted to like give myself
So,
a little.
are you counting dreams as in you wake up, record the dream, go back to sleep, wake up, record the dream, or are you counting these dreams as transitions too? Like you're playing soccer, then it transitions to you
Well,
at the fair. Is that counting as two?
I kind of count that as two because like I'd wake up and I would record the most recent one on my mind, and then while I'm doing that, I'm going, "Oh, I had this other dream too," and then I might remember
Okay.
like 3 dreams. So,
Okay.
one of them did kind of transition, but it was like such a totally different dream that I'm not sure if I had a micro awakening or what exactly happened. So I just
Okay.
counted it as two. But
Okay. Yeah, see it's hard. I mean, plus it's not who's keeping count or anything like that. But
yeah, it's
I
just your
always
personal records or
that's something I
whatever it
always
is.
found really interesting as dream transitions. I remember it was 2 years ago. I remember my first transition, and it was the craziest thing. I was out doing some crazy playground stuff or whatever, and stomping on these dirt creatures. Anyway, then I remember seeing a TV, and then I stared at the TV, and it zoomed in on the TV, and next thing I know, whatever I was watching on TV, I was looking at it so close it was right up to my face, and then I was in the TV, and then it was a whole new dream scene, and that was my first time I ever remembered a dream transition, and ever since then, I once I get good at or once I start recording my dreams and waking up and recording them, I start recalling more and more transitions, which for some reason to me transitions are so interesting because it's
Yeah,
crazy how your mind will take the one thing that it's created and then find a way to transition it into another one that's relatively relatable. It's not just boom, now you're in the next dream scene. It uses something in the first dream to slowly transition to. I love transitions.
yeah.
It
Well,
amazes me what your mind does to transition.
I really think it's a good lesson for when you're lucid and you can remember those transitions and like how did that
Yes,
happen. You can use that for dream control.
dude.
That's why I
I'm
love my
telling you,
non-lucid dreams because they can be completely
so
crazy.
enlightening.
Yeah,
Yes, dude. I think that's something I can say that I am good at when I'm in a lucid dream. I've never had any trouble when I wanted to do a transition. I've never once gotten stuck. If I want to go somewhere, now if it's a key point or a key place, I may have trouble because I'm not sure where I want to go, so I'm still kind of iffy on that. But when it comes to actually saying, okay, I'm kind of bored with this, or I want to do something else, it's so easy for me to transition. I don't know why. It's just a quick change of thought, and I close my eyes and open them back up usually, or
damn.
duck under something, or walk through something. I think it's the confidence is what plays mostly into
Yeah,
transitioning,
yeah,
but
that helps.
that I can honestly say that I am pretty damn good at is a transition when it comes to
Yeah,
lucid dreaming. Anyway.
and yeah, you really have to think in an abstract sort of way. I think my problem
Mm-hmm.
is that sometimes I'm too literal, and I expect the mechanics of everything to be a lot like the waking world, so that kind of trips me up a lot. I think, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
learning.
back to sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was just saying I'm learning. I'm learning to get better, but
Dude, yeah, we're I mean, I want to be that 45, 50-year-old guy that just has a lucid dream every night, and it's like one step forward, two steps back for me, man. I mean, I'm on the right path now. But I just wish I would have not strayed too far away, or I'd be hopefully where you were at 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, I took a
But we all
lot
want,
of
but
breaks too,
even
so
yeah, but even where you're at now, you want to be better. So it doesn't matter
you're always
where
gonna
I'm
want
at.
more.
Yeah, yeah, it's a greedy cycle.
It's the human nature is to escalate everything.
Back to dry spells, though, something I noticed you had on your list that I can really relate to is the stress. Because of
Right.
how many hours I've been working, and I have a wedding coming up on Friday, 6 days, 5 days, 6 days.
Yep.
I mean, I'm stressed as hell, man. I'm stressed. But the one thing that honestly say that stress for me when it comes to dreaming is if you're thinking about it. See, when you're stressed out, it's hard to think about something that's benefiting you while you're sleeping because everybody's so honed in on their reality. But
Right.
when you're stressed about something, keep in mind that you're usually going to dream about this because you're stressed out about it and you're thinking about it quite often, and that's what's stressing you out. Keep in mind that's going to show up. That's going to show up in your dreams.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So if this is something where you're stressed out and you're in a dry spell, and a dry spell shouldn't stress you out. You should be a little inapt for concern there. It's something that you're really inapt to want.
Dry spells used to stress me out a lot.
But you're stressed out because of work. Well, next time you're at work and you get stressed, if you can think about it, do a reality check. It's something amazing because how cool would that be? You're in a dream. You're in a dry spell. You know you're stressing out about work. You're thinking about it before you're falling asleep, which you really shouldn't be thinking. Don't take your work home with you. But usually if you're stressed out about something, you're thinking about it 24/7. So you're thinking about it before you fall asleep. It's going to be on your mind. Next thing you know, your coworker's yelling at you because you stole his pencil or whatever. So next thing you know, you're lucid and you're stabbing him in the eye with it. So good for you.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm bad about taking anger out in my lucids. But I was just thinking. But yeah, man, good point. I kind of look at it as, I don't know, like usually my stress comes from like just problems of life that happens to everybody. But, you know, just it goes back to taking a break from lucid dreaming. I mean, maybe you need to take a break while you work on that problem, or at least find a solution to that problem and get a game plan to how you're going to fix that problem that's causing you this stress. And
right.
Usually that kind of helps bring the stress down a little bit. So, like, I at least have a plan to take care of this thing that's stressing me out. So, you just got to give yourself time to deal with stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
And drink a lot of alcohol in the meantime.
Yeah. Cheers, Mike. Hey, what are you drinking tonight, buddy? Well, yeah. Doesn't shoot up
Dude,
anymore.
I'm sipping on straight gin right now.
Oh, my God.
Taking it easy, though, because I'm not going to get drunk. It's not drunk for
We're not going to do what we did last podcast?
And we're not going to do what we did after the last podcast.
Oh, my God. It was amazing and embarrassing all at the same time.
Yeah, funny story real fast.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody, well, most people know about it, but podcast people don't know about it. When I woke up that morning, because I drink like 3 bottles of wine. When I woke up that morning, I saw a Snapchat that I saved it. I sent it to somebody where I ate that cheese with the wrapper still on. Oh my God! Where's the wrapper? I was so worried because I couldn't find the wrapper, dude. Oh. All weekend I was stressed out, and like I think by Tuesday I'm going, man, there is no way I swallowed that plastic. I found it in the trash, so all was good.
Thank God. Oh my God! Like it's gonna back me up. I'm so scared. I haven't pooped in the.
Oh my God. Yeah, it didn't back me up, but I was so scared. I'm like, I think that's just sitting in there somewhere.
That's horrible.
I was drinking milk and magnesia to try to flush it out.
Dude,
it was bizarre. Yeah, dude, that's a good reminder, people, not to drink that much.
Dude,
ever.
I haven't. Dude, seriously, like, I had so much fun. I've never gotten wasted with somebody doing a Skype before. I seriously felt like I was so wasted. It was like you were just like literally sitting next to me and we were just having a good old time and like, oh, it was just awesome. It was awesome, dude. But yeah, therapy. We need to control ourselves. Let's not get naked this time.
We didn't get naked.
Oh, well, I did.
I didn't notice.
Oh, okay. Okay, Mike. Sorry, you didn't want to share that.
Little side story there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Well, all right. So, how are we gonna fix these dry spells, Mike? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do to change these dry spells? How are we gonna get back in the game? Because honestly, I had a lucid dream pretty recently, and it was the coolest fucking lucid dream I've ever had, even though I only can recall half of it. what can we do to get out of my funk? I mean, I had one a couple weeks ago, but I've considered myself back in another dry spell. What do I need to do to bring myself up out of it?
Oh, well,
Let's get excited here. Come on. Woo!
we talked about de-stressing, meditation. I feel like meditation is very helpful. That kind of ties in with all-day awareness, or shit. I didn't want to say that. Daytime awareness.
It's okay. Well, quick question about the meditation. When you say meditation, are you saying like in the middle of the day, taking time to meditate, or nighttime meditation before you go to sleep?
Just don't do it while you're laying down in bed, because that's a good way to fall asleep.
Okay.
Any other time,
So
I think.
So you wanted? You're saying?
I mean, I'm not a
a
meditation
little bit of
person.
meditation during the day.
Yeah. I would love to just be able to meditate, 30 minutes a day. But it's hard to find quiet time for that. Just
Yes.
so much to
That's
do.
what I was gonna bring. Yes. More. Give me more, Mike.
Yeah.
What else can we do?
But that generally, not only does that help lucid dreaming, but meditation can de-stress you.
Absolutely. It's actually been proven in a lab.
Right.
Motherfucker.
So, take care of your stress, however
Masturbate.
you see fit. That works sometimes, I think, maybe.
Sometimes.
Or it makes you more aggravated.
Right. Oh, shit.
Well, another thing that helps me get out of my funk is lucid dreaming supplements. We've talked about that quite a bit.
Yes.
I don't know how well we covered that, but
I'm like I'm the all natural lucid dreamer, but it's probably because I'm too cheap to buy the fucking shit you got. You ended up sending me some supplements because I couldn't find them for a while.
yeah.
And then when I did find what you were actually taking, I was like, dude, this is way too expensive. So you sent me the cheaper, the off-brand version. You just, here, have this bottle, buddy. And I've used it from time to time. And that, you know what? I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to take some Hyperzine because it's still sitting up there and I am in a dry spell. So that's a great... That's awesome.
Do you have any peppermint tea?
I do have peppermint tea.
All right, so what I think you should do is do a 45-minute to an hour wake back to bed.
Wake back to bed.
So as soon as you get up, take the Huperzine. I don't know how to say it anymore. Take that with some choline, and then make your peppermint tea, and just do whatever for an hour while you sip your tea, and then go back to bed doing your favorite technique. And I think it'll work.
I think it's all the same. Wild is basically the same technique for everybody. No matter what you're doing, I consider it wild.
Yeah, I usually do wild with galantamine. I don't think it's all the same. I mean, a lucid is a lucid, but there's...
No, I'm saying, honestly, Mike, all these techniques kind of just get grouped up into one. There might be different ways of thinking about it, and might be different ways of kind of introducing it, but to me, it's kind of bundled into all the same. It's all a form of meditation while you're laying in bed trying to become lucid.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I think is truly different than the rest is a dream-induced lucid dream. Oh, well, because that's just kind of like, I'm gonna do a reality check because this looks weird.
Yes,
the rest of it is a type of meditation practice. I agree with that.
Okay.
But yeah, that kind of brings up the next thing is to try new methods.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Different methods are always, because it keeps you thinking in different ways, and sometimes it can get a little, I don't know, you're gonna nail it on the head with one, and then you're gonna stick with that one for a while, and then sometimes lose motivation because you're not gonna get the same experience. So, like I said, it's all kind of the same. You need to refine your technique. The way I see it is whatever you're most comfortable with doing. So, if you think you're doing a new technique and it almost seems like you're straying away from relaxation, do something else to keep your body relaxed. That's the biggest thing for me, is keep your mind kind of free and your body relaxed no matter what you're doing. But if you're trying something new, it's always good, because it's going to help you at least think that you're going to become lucid this night, because your old techniques haven't worked worth a shit. So,
like I've said before, I have a habit of like thinking I've mastered one aspect of lucid dreaming, and then I kind of get lazy with my practice of it, and then it'll stop.
I got this shit.
Yeah. Get overconfident, I think. But yeah, so like 90% of my wilds, were, or 90% of my lucid dreams were from wild, and then I kind of went into a dry spell, so I can't wild anymore or whatever. I just kind of, switched over to dream-induced lucid dreaming. Just did my daytime awareness stuff a little bit harder, and I really just told myself, when I'm dreaming, I'm gonna know I'm dreaming, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. So really, just kind of a changing of techniques kind of helps when you're in a dry spell, at least for me.
Absolutely. Yes.
And a lot of times I just kind of go with the moment too, like.
So you're saying what goes along with changing your technique isn't just with changing your technique of going to bed, or doing after your wake back to bed, changing your technique. You're saying changing your technique of what you're doing throughout the day as well.
Well, yeah, kind of. But, I mean, I feel like, the awareness stuff is probably good for every technique. And it's really crucial for me anyway, so.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking more of like, when I, like a dream exit induced lucid dream, you kind of, it's really
You're
hard.
Taking a chance.
It's really
it's
hard
a gamble.
to, yeah, it's like throwing a dice. It's really hard to make those happen every time, but
it's like, do I want to remember this dream and record it, or do I want to try going back into it? Hope to God I remember it and possibly become lucid.
Do I want to scrap all my recall? Yeah, but sometimes when you get a little more advanced and a little more used to the feeling of the lucid dreaming and the transitional states, I kind of notice that, I'm sort of awake, but I'm still in the in-between state. So if I have the presence of mind to try to, dive back into that, I will. So this is kind of like just try to be aware of that possibility, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Another thing that I think would really help people pull out of a dry spell is during the day, because a lot of us, as you get older, we go through the same old routine. Now, there's so many different things that can inspire you during the day to seem more dreamlike. A big one for me is like danger. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Don't try this at home kind of bullshit. But like, say, do something that you haven't done in a long time. Go for a bike ride and go down a large hill, and imagine that you're just speeding down that hill at remarkable speeds. Use your imagination during the day and imagine that you are in a dream. Focus on it like, well, if I was in a dream right now, like what I always do, I get bored in the car or whatever, I always imagine that my car turns into like this flyable object, and I act like I'm pulling back on the steering wheel and I'm flying up into the sky. And I've done this in a few dreams and lucid dreams before, just because I practiced this during the day. But do something that is inspiring, something that kind of gets you excited, get your heart moving. Do something spontaneous, something that you would do. I mean, there's so many people out there that you're only going to ever see one time. If you're shy, this will work best for you. Go say something random to somebody, and just see what their reaction is going to be. I mean, this sounds silly, guys, but this is what I'm talking about. Something that completely alters the way you're thinking right then and there. So you see somebody walking in the store aisle, pick up a can of beans and say, Popeye loves his spinach. Look him right in the eye. Popeye loves his spinach. And then hand them the can. And if they don't take it, just drop it on the ground and walk away. Just to get a reaction out of somebody. And imagine that you're in a dream. You're not harming anybody. You're not doing anything to hurt anybody. But, I mean, it sounds silly. And it's going to be silly. And you're going to laugh about it later. But that's something that you would only do in a dream. Why would anybody fucking say that? Just try it.
Right.
And all you're going to do is get your heart racing a little bit because you don't know what the fuck this guy's going to think. You know? I mean, don't go up to a fucking 300-pound fucking guy who's got this angry look on his face, you know, and do it to the elderly. But, but no, seriously, do something that you would never do in real life. Do something that's going to break away from your everyday, day in, day out bullshit reality. Do something that's going to make your heart beat, you know? Do something that while you're doing it, you can say, this is not something that happens. This is something that could be dreamlike, you know? And then when you're done, do a reality check.
Yeah,
just
so
take a look at your surroundings.
You're just saying just create new and exciting experiences for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the whole time you're doing it, think, this is dreamlike. This is dreamlike.
Yeah, and if you want to be a little safer about it, maybe I like to just go watch a weird movie that's, you know, got some visual, you know, whatever, eye candy to it, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think that helps too. Yeah,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I mean, get out of the fucking house once in a while too. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because I've noticed, like, if I haven't really done much lately, my dreams will become extremely boring and mundane and just, yeah, I dreamed that I had a conversation with my wife and my son said hi or something. It's like, I don't really feel like recording that.
Right.
I mean, I think that's why a
Boulder.
lot of the recall goes down, because I'm like, I've literally woke up and go, that was a boring ass dream. I don't really care.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a good point you
Absolutely.
made. I agree.
Yeah, you got to do something that's extraordinary, out of the ordinary, something that's just completely different, man. Because, I mean, like you and me, to me, it's the same I mean, recently you've had a lot of different things that, you know, getting you around, getting you out of the house, some more positive than negative, some vice versa. But when you do the same thing day in, day out, it makes you dull.
Right.
It makes you not want to do anything but think about your own horrible life. I'm just kidding, but
I had another work dream.
Yeah, exactly. That's my problem. When I'm working 70 hours a week, that's all I do. I have dreams about me trying to build something or work on something that's never getting fixed. That's my dream. I'm constantly turning this ratchet, but the screw is not ever getting tighter. And it's over and over and over. Oh, yeah. It's so bad, dude. It's like, please just give me some PCP.
I hate it when stuff don't work out in dreams. It's frustrating.
Yes. But yeah, man.
So
fuck these dry spells.
Yeah. I feel like all the causes, the lack of motivation, the lack of sleep, laziness, the stress, those can all be tied in and related to each other. You know, just work on the remedies we talked about. Really, like,
what makes you excited?
Yep. Get excited. Get your sleep. Get back to the basics. Try to get rid of your stress. And maybe just try some new things.
Yes, absolutely.
And remember, you're not going to be in a dry spell forever.
No, hell no. Lucid dreaming's the shit. Actually, if you don't mind, Mike, I'd like to share with you the lucid dream I had. I'm actually really excited about this one, dude. By far, excuse my phone. Dead. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, droid.
Fucking I hate that.
Dude,
why waste my battery to tell me my battery's low? Okay, so go ahead.
No, that's cool, man. Dude, seriously, hands down, not the most eventful lucid dream by far, but hands down, the longest lucid dream I've ever had. If I have to say in real time, and they're both in about the same, but I'd have to say this lucid dream was probably 15 minutes long.
Nice.
Give or take a couple minutes. But dude, here's the thing. About 5 minutes into my lucid dream, I stopped and I said, you know what, I should wake myself up right now. Now, granted, it's been a month before my last lucid dream, before this lucid dream. Okay? And I've been a huge dry spell, you know. I told you guys in the last podcast what was going on. And so here I am, 5 minutes into it, haven't done jack shit, just kind of walked around in the lucid dream and kept myself anchored. I was just so happy that I was in a lucid dream that I was just walking around, taking it easy, didn't want to do anything to get my heart rate up. And by then I go, well, I better wake myself up right now because I'm going to forget this. And I go, well, hang on, let me see if I can recall everything that I've done so far. So in the lucid dream, I stopped and I recalled everything that I had previously done. I said, okay, well, I'm okay to go on for a little while longer. I just got to make sure I remember this. I carried on for another 5 minutes, and I go, okay, now I better wake myself up. This is getting pretty ridiculous. And I go, well, hang on now. I can recall almost everything so far. I said, but I haven't done anything too exciting. I said, well, all right, I owe it to myself. It's been so long. I don't even care if I forget everything else that just happened. I want to do something fun, damn it. Okay, now, screw it. What am I going to do? What have I wanted to do in a long time? And I said, well, I've been wanting to ask my dream characters what they represent. So I started looking around and I seen my buddy Brett Lavoie. I'm like, hey, Brett, what's up, man? And he looks at me. He's like, hey, the only thing different on him was he had these huge eyebrows. He had like my eyebrows. I got these mustache eyebrows, basically. And he had them on his head. And I'm like, Brett, tell me, what do you represent in my dream? What are you doing here? What is my mind? But I just simply asked him that. And he looked at me. He just did one of these gestures like, dude, I don't fucking know, you know? And I'm like, that didn't work out how I thought it was going to. And I'm like, damn it. I was waiting for him to be like, I'm your best bro. I'm here to fucking support you in your lucid dream or anything. But he was just like, why are you fucking asking me that, you dumbass, you know?
I get those
okay,
too.
whatever. So finally I'm like, well, that didn't work out how I thought. And everybody's like looking at me weird in the lucid dream. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something exciting. I don't even care if it gets my heart rate going. I'm going to do something exciting before I wake up from this lucid dream. So I laid down on my belly, and I just imagined myself going at Mach speeds. And to do that, I just imagined that I was going down a mountain. And there I am. I'm like on a skateboard. I never seen the skateboard. I just imagined that I was laying on something with four wheels. And I am going down this fucking hill at just incredible speeds, dude.
Sweet.
And it was so cool. I mean, it was just like, in my dream, I'm like, yeah, you know, like, fucking faster. And I just kept going faster and faster and faster and faster. And those are the key points. But it was mostly just walking around, so it's kind of mundane. It's not that interesting. But to me, this was monumental because I was so well anchored and I was so well into the lucid dream, and this is the first lucid dream I ever go, I'm kind of getting bored. You know what? I'm going to do something interesting now. I know I'm anchored in. I know I'm relaxed. And when I woke up, I did forget most of it because after I went down that mountain, I had a false awakening that I was telling Chrissy about my lucid dream. So it kind of sucked, but I was sitting there and I'm like, I woke up in such a good mood. And I'm like, why am I in such a good mood? Why do I feel like I have all this energy? I'm all excited. I go, feels like I had a lucid dream or something. I did it. I fucking did it. Dry spell's over. Texting Mike Kuhn. Yeah. It was just awesome, man. So
cool.
It was so cool. I was really happy about it.
I mean, you said you kind of just wandered around, like didn't really do much in the beginning. I don't know, man. Sometimes just knowing that you're in a dream and just soaking in the environment, it's not much to talk about, but it feels really awesome just to do that once in a while.
It does.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder, since your dream was so long, like if you had tried to wake yourself up, if you would have been able to wake yourself up. Because there's that time when you kind of enter into that lucid dream, like maybe earlier in your REM cycle, you kind of get locked into that sometimes.
Yeah.
And like you try to wake up and you just end up having a false awakening or like sleep paralysis type of thing. And yeah, those are the best ones though, when you're just like locked
It was
in.
just so relaxing. And I'm just so happy because back in the day I could never lock myself in, and now it's coming natural to where as long as I'm having a dream-induced lucid dream, I can lock myself in. Now, if I'm doing a wild, I still have such a hard time getting past the vibrations and shit like that because my heart races because it feels like I'm just laying there, and it's like just feels like somebody's shaking the fucking shit out of me, dude, and I don't understand. You know, it's like my brain can't get past the concept of there's a machine gun going off of my ear and I'm getting electrocuted with 1,000 volts of electricity right now. Just relax. No, there ain't no fucking relaxing. So
yeah,
I just need to keep doing it.
You have to just accept those sensations and focus on them, and they'll just you'll get used to it. But yeah, I kind of get to the point where like I'm really dreading to have a wild and have those, all that weird shit happening to me, because it's like sometimes it takes for fucking ever.
No shit.
And it's like, I mean, a lot of times it's really just bizarre and psychedelic, and sometimes I'm in the mood for that, but other times I'm like, I have a goal I want to do, I just want to get out of this shit. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It's that's why they're called wilds. It's a wild ride.
Fucking wild.
For a while I thought wilds were the way to go because I feel like I had more control over that. As far as initiating it, because a dild is kind of random, I guess. Like, you may or may not pick up on the fact that you're in a dream. But usually those are the most fun because you're already in some environment and you can just, it's like a rock. You can just kick it and whatever. I feel like wilds are more delicate, I guess. Take a little finesse.
Yeah. Yeah, the only wilds I've really been able to harness is the ones where I'm trying to wild, but I actually fall asleep. Then I am semi-awake and semi-sleeping. There was only one time I ever actually watched a dream form in front of my eyes, and it freaked me the fuck out. It was like, holy shit! Like, how did this just happen?
Yeah.
I'm all of a sudden I'm just like thinking in my head that I'm walking around, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, boom! There's a house there, and a ladder's just like, it like forms up, and this character comes, and the rest of the dreamscape around me is black, and I just watch everything start to form together, and I'm like, whoa, this is too much. I can't take this right now, and I woke myself up.
Oh man,
like,
it's very Matrix-like and very, especially when it's like super vivid and this is, you watch it forming, it happens once in a while.
Absolutely, it's very Matrix-like.
It's pretty badass. Well, I want to share a dream that I had. It wasn't a lucid dream. I feel like I always share lucid dreams, but I had a really interesting non-lucid dream, and it was so vivid and so lifelike. It was almost like an actual memory that I had. And I told you about it. I texted you about it. But
tell me.
It still kind of affects me because it was very traumatic in a way. But so I don't know if this is where the dream started or if it was a part of a longer dream. But so I'm walking down the street at night, and I heard this gunshot. And I look over by this street lamp, and I kind of see a guy, and it kind of looks like I guess the time era would be like 20s, 30s, 40s maybe, where, like you see in the movies, like a lot of guys wore like suits and the hat all the time.
Right. That's the first thing I pictured, yeah.
Yeah, so he was in a blue suit with a blue hat, and he was kind of hunched over by this light, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's hurt. So I go over there to help him, but he doesn't want any help. As soon as I try to interact with him, he just turns around and shoots me in the chest. Like, it was 4 or 5 times. And I felt each impact in my chest. It's like bam,
This is just
bam.
amazing. Yes.
And that last one, I just felt like it hit something vital, and like all my life energy just drained out like so fast, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm dying. You know. And it was, man, just all the emotion that you would expect to feel when you're like literally dying, like all that went through my mind. It was
That's
just
amazing.
crazy.
That's amazing. Keep going though, because I remember you telling me.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess
You accepted it, didn't you?
I don't remember. I kind of just was like, I can't, whatever, it's happening. I did have that sense, towards the end where I just fell
Because
to the
when you
ground.
told me that to me is a life experience that would bring you closer to the actuality of not being so afraid. Like, I don't know, because I think, and not in a weird sense, not some philosophical bullshit, I think about death quite a bit. And the fact that you had a dream that you actually died in, where you could feel everything leaving your body and you accepted it for that split second, makes me think in my head, okay, now I don't have to be so afraid because I've already lived it once.
Yeah,
Do you have any thought in that?
I kind of have that feeling, yeah.
Okay. See, that's amazing.
And
That's amazing that you can take that from a non-lucid dream that you had, and you can accept something that is a part of everybody's life, but everybody fears it in some sort of aspect.
Yeah.
So it's almost like seeing it for yourself.
And it was, I mean, I don't know. We try to be real literal about stuff, but I know I've probably mentioned before that I tend to believe in reincarnation. So to me, it almost felt like a memory. And I accept the possibility that maybe that was a real experience that I had in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just thinking about that and, actually feeling like I literally experienced death, yeah, it kind of does take away the fear. But
Yeah.
it was still really traumatic when I woke up. I was just like,
Fuck yeah.
wow,
I'm fucking still alive?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, it didn't quite work that way because it did lead into like this false awakening where I was in a hospital room, which I think this is probably where it would, if it was a memory, this is where it splits off because it gets really random and more dreamlike than an actual experience. But I woke up in a hospital room and I'm like super sad. I'm crying because I was like, I was just trying to help this guy and he shot me. And like, then this nurse comes in and she gets naked and I get naked.
Yes!
Then she was like, no, I was just kidding, and walks out.
Bitch!
No.
Oh,
it was
Mike.
it was weird. And I'm just like, I don't even know what's happening right now.
Not only did you get shot and damn near die, but then you're getting blue-balled. That's like the worst night ever, bro.
I know, that was more traumatic than getting shot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. Well, I'm gonna have a lucid dream tonight. What do you think? You gonna have a lucid dream as long as we don't get too drunk?
I think I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
And do a wake back to bed tonight.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm gonna do it for an hour. Wake up for an hour. And right when I wake up, I'll take the hyperzine, take the chlorine. I call it chlorine because I can't say choline. Choline. Okay. I'll take my hyperzine, my choline, and then I'll drink a thing of peppermint tea. And then after 60 minutes, I will lay back down and do wild, or at least focus on myself staying awake while I'm falling asleep. And hopefully, I'll get lucky as fuck. All right, lucid dreamers. We hope we helped you on your dry spells. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact us at lucidforlife@mail.com. We love to hear from you, folks.
I like it. All right, guys. Stay lucid, everybody. We'll see you soon.